Hello everyone, Lock Garden Bird Lady here, coming to you guys with a quick video. In this video I wanted to talk about how to stop your parrot from screaming, and that was a bad example. Danny! So let's jump right into it. Alright, so let's first just start this thing out. There's no way to completely stop your parrot from screaming. That's a part of being a bird, a part of being a parrot. That's part of who they are, their nature. So yeah, you're just not gonna be able to just stop them from completely screaming altogether. So let's just get that straight first. Now, there are some ways that you can minimize your parrot screaming. Well, in order to stop your parrot from screaming, first you need to realize why parrots scream. Parrots scream for a number of reasons. They scream because they're bored. They scream because they're jealous. They scream because they're afraid. They scream when they're happy. But the most common reason that parrots scream is for attention. So yeah. So some ways to minimize your parrot screaming is feed them. Feed them. You know how, we black people, we call it the itis. You know how you've eaten and you've gotten full and you're just so relaxed and you're just tired and you're just, yeah. So feed them and get them relaxed, get them tired. And even on top of that, the type of foods that you feed them, if your parrots have a healthy diet, they're going to be an overall healthier bird. So make sure you just feed them a healthy diet and feed them good and get them all relaxed and everything. And you'll notice that they'll be a lot quieter when they're full. I promise you, after my parrots have eaten, they are just a lot quieter. Like a lot of times Casper would get on his perch and go to sleep after he's eaten. So just like people, when we get full and we get that Thanksgiving dinner, it's time to take a nap. So yeah, feed them. That's a way to keep the screaming down. Another way to keep your parrot screaming down is to make sure that you give your parrots a lot of attention, because that's the majority of the time the reason that they're screaming is for attention. And so just take and spend time with your parrots. Like, I work a weird shift, so what I usually do is I stay up and I just interact with them, and I include them in things that I'm doing throughout the day. I have them outside with me in the garden. I have just specific playtime with them in the downstairs and down here in the bird room / gym / man cave. So it was a man cave until I added the birds into it. It was a man cave in a gym until I threw the birds down here, and it just kind of ruined my husband's whole little getaway. But I just have playtime with them where I just focus on each individual pair. I give Danny his time, and Danny's more of an independent parrot, so he really doesn't. He'll play and then he'll let me know when he's like, okay, I want to go back to my cage now. But Casper is a more clingy bird, so he will stay on me all day long. So I have to give them both their individual playtime. And one thing when it comes to attention, make sure you're not rewarding their screaming by giving them attention for negative behavior. A lot of parrots are mostly surrendered because they're so loud and they make so much noise and they scream, and people just can't take it. And so what people would do out of frustration is they will begin to yell at their parrot. But if your parrot is screaming and you're yelling at him, you're giving him what he wants. He wants attention. It may be negative attention, but you're giving him exactly what he wants. You're giving your parrot that attention. So if your parrot is screaming, ignore him. Don't give them any attention. Then when they have been quiet for a certain amount of time, that's what I did with Casper, how I kind of trained him a little. Got him trained with the screaming to minimize his screaming. To minimize his screaming, I would not acknowledge him when he was screaming. Wouldn't acknowledge him at all. Then when he would stop screaming, when he was quiet for maybe about a minute or so, I would go and I would give him an almond. And then I would spend time with him once he was quiet. But as long as he was screaming, no attention whatsoever. So you want to give them as much attention as you can when they're on their good behavior, and when they're doing that screaming, don't scream back at them, don't tell them to shut up, and do not rush into the room to see what's wrong with them, because your bird is beginning to train you. Instead of you training your bird, your parrot starts to train you. He knows that, okay, when I scream, when I act the monkey, when I act the fool, they're gonna come down here. They may just come down here and tell me to shut up, but they're down here, you know, or they're here, you know. So make sure you give them attention. And another thing that you want to do to minimize your parrot screaming is to keep them busy. Just keep them busy. And like, it doesn't take much to keep my parrots busy. Like Casper, I give him a box every day. I do a lot of online shopping, so I have a lot of boxes. And so I give him a box every single day, a big box every single day. And what he does, I don't care what time of day, I can wake up to go to the restroom or something, and when I wake up to go to the restroom, I will come all the way downstairs and I will check on them, and he will be ripping up his box. That's what he's doing now. You hear Danny, but you haven't heard Casper yet. You may hear a little crunching sound, but that's him ripping up his box, and I'll show you some footage of that. That's what he does. He will do that all day long. He will stay busy ripping up boxes and toilet tissue, toilet paper rolls, and paper towel rolls is what I give him. And he loves cardboard, and he will rip it up all day long. And that keeps his beak busy. That keeps him from screaming. That keeps him from clucking. That keeps him occupied. And what I would do also is when he gets a new box, I close the box up. Don't tape it down, but I just close the box up. And the more that he rips it, eventually he'll be able to find almonds in there. So it keeps him going because he knows it's something in that box for him. He loves boxes anyway, but I gave him an extra incentive. Like, if you play with this and you rip this up, then there's some almonds in there for you. So he goes and he tries to find the almonds. So yeah, keep him busy. Give him toys, and like, it's just, for me, he just loves boxes. Give him toys. Give him things that's gonna keep their beaks busy. Get them foraging toys. Casper, he chews up. I can spend $50 on a toy and it's gone in 10 minutes. So I'm like, no. But and there are some toys that I bought for him that he hasn't even touched. But boxes, he loves them, and they keep him busy all day long. Now there's a lot of cleaning up that I have to do. I get tired of cleaning up on cardboard, cleaning out the cage and all that cardboard ripped up or whatever. But it keeps him busy. So if your parrot stays busy, they don't have time to scream. They're busy. Another one is, make sure your parrot is happy. Keep your parrot happy, and that comes with the food that they eat. You know, you and I, when we eat certain types of food, it affects our mood. Our diet affects our mood. When we eat healthier, we feel better. We feel more energized. We just feel happy. We just feel so much better. So same thing is with parrots. Keep them happy, and their happiness has a lot to do with what they're eating. So give them a healthy diet. That affects their moods. Give them something to play with. Give them attention when you can. I keep saying when you can, but your parrot should at least get 4 hours of your attention a day. If I can do it and work all night, I know you can do it too. So I would say, yeah, about 4 hours of just playtime, 3 to 4 hours of playtime every day from you. And not just an hour here, but they should really get that attention, that time to be out of their cage. If you can give more, then that's good. But that's on the minimum side. But yeah, just make sure they're happy. Keep them happy. If they're happy, they're going to be less likely to scream when they're doing a lot, when they're really happy. And the last thing is, make sure that your parrots are getting enough sleep. Parrots need to have anywhere between 12 to 14 hours of sleep a day. Yes, and that's how it was naturally in the wild. They need a lot of sleep. I don't cover my birds because where they are, you know, downstairs, it's completely dark down here. I turn off the bird lights and whatever at a certain time, and just let the sun go down, and I do not bother them until the sun comes back up to make sure that they get their 12 plus hours of sleep a night. So make sure that your parrots are getting enough sleep. That is another way to minimize the screaming. And they definitely scream because they're jealous. So make sure that you're just giving them the attention that they need, and they'll be less jealous if you have a spouse or a significant other or another parrot. They won't be so jealous because they've already gotten the attention that they need. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So these are my tips on how to get your parrot how to minimize your parrot screaming, and just try it. It doesn't happen overnight, but just try it. If you have a screamer before you give him up. What's up, baby? Hi. Hi. Hello. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, huh? What are you doing, Munchkin? What are you doing, Munchkin? Hello. Hi. I see you waving. So that's one thing I said about giving him attention. Once he started talking to me, I started talking back to him. And if I hadn't, then we were going to have a little screaming war. Hello, Doodles. Hello, Doodles. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. He's waving at me. I'm waving back. All right, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And as usual, toodaloo. Bye-bye.